Hello students, I am Mahesh Jayappa from Srimati Rajmati Nemgonda Patil Girls High School and Junior College Sangli. Students, welcome in the 8th topic of 9th standard, that is the harmful and useful microorganism. Students, in the first part we are going to study that is the useful microorganisms to human being and as well as the commercial use. In the introductory part, we know Earth consists of variety of living things. These living things are classified into plants, animal and microbes or microorganisms. Microorganisms are defined as the organisms that are not visible with naked eyes. These microorganisms are seen with the help of microscope or compound microscope as well as the electron microscope. Microscope is the useful device for observing the microorganism. Microorganisms are basically two types: useful microorganisms and harmful microorganisms. In case of useful microorganisms, we are going to study following are the microorganisms which are useful to us by different ways. Out of that, first one is lactobacilli, second one is rhizobium, third one is yeast, fourth antibiotics, and fifth one is the penicillin. Let us study one by one. The first microorganism is the lactobacilli. If we prepare a smear of drop of buttermilk on glass slide, staining with methylene blue by keeping cover slip on it, then we see by microscope blue rod shaped organisms. These are minute and rectangular shaped. These are anaerobic bacteria that is called as a lactobacilli. Example, we are very well known with the example of curdling of milk. In this process, milk converts into curd. It is called as a fermentation process. The lactobacilli convert lactose sugar of milk into lactic acid, which decrease the pH of milk, which causes coagulation of milk protein that results into separation of protein from milk. Yogurt has a specific sour taste due to lactic acid. The low pH inhibits the growth of the harmful microorganisms. Uses of lactobacilli. First, various milk products like yogurt, buttermilk, ghee, cheese, shrikhand, etc. are obtained by fermentation of milk. Lactobacilli fermentation is useful for large scale production of cider, cocoa, pickles of vegetables, etc. Lactobacilli and some other useful microbes taken together are used to treat abdominal discomfort. Leaven fodder offered to domestic cattle like cows, buffaloes is fodder fermented with the help of lactobacilli. The lactobacilli fermentation process is used to make wine and some other types of breads. Rhizobium is the second useful microorganism which is showing the symbiotic bacteria. In case of leguminous plants, we obtain root nodules if we clean it with the water and crushed and stain with safranin solution for 2 to 3 minutes. We obtain an image of rhizobium bacteria under the microscope. The rhizobium bacteria are pinkish colored and rod shaped. Leguminous plants are gram and soybean. Here, students, we are seeing that is the rhizobium with the help of diagrammatic presentation. In the first slide, we are going to see root nodules with the help of that is the rhizobium as a symbiotic relationship with the host plant, and in the second slide we are going to actually see what is the rhizobium bacteria looking. So it is very well known that the rhizobium bacteria provides nitrogen for the growing plant body. Role and importance of rhizobium. Rhizobia living in root nodules supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acids to that plant, and it in exchange get energy in the form of carbohydrates from it. Such mutual beneficial relationships is called as a symbiosis. Rhizobia produce nitrogenous compounds from atmospheric nitrogen. However, for this nitrogen fixation, they need leguminous plant like beans, sweet pea, soybean, etc. as a host plant. Role of importance of rhizobium. After harvesting, leguminous plants, leftover roots and other plant parts are dumped in the field to increase the bacterial population. The increase of bacterial population will give increase in the nitrogen content of the soil, and it is useful for the growth of the plant body, which are leguminous plants, that is the cereals and pulses. The use of rhizobium helps to reduce the chemical fertilizers and adverse effects of it. If you prepare a suspension of dry yeast in water, we are seeing that is the yeast cell, which is nothing but the third useful microorganisms for human. After that, you are seeing colorless oval shaped cells of yeast. Some of these cells have small round bodies attached to them. These are daughter cells of yeast in the process of formation. This is the method of asexual reproduction called as a budding. Yeast is a heterotrophic fungus growing on carbon compounds. It is unicellular fungus with 1500 different species. The yeast cell are very well known as a eukaryotic type of cell because the nucleus is very conspicuous and it is very well with cell organelles. Here we are seeing that is the yeast cell diagram, in which the first is seeing that is the parent yeast cell and the small outgrowths are seeing. These are nothing but called as the buds. So it is the asexual reproduction of yeast cell that is showing in the diagram. Often alcohol is produced along with sugar in sugar factories. Molasses is produced from sugarcane juice. It is rich in carbohydrates. Molasses is fermented with the help of yeast cell called as a Saccharomyces. In this process, ethanol, that is the formula C2H5OH, alcohol is produced as a primary product and ester and other alcohols are as a secondary product. Spirit and other alcohols can be obtained from ethanol. Ethanol is also a smokeless and high quality fuel. Besides molasses, maize, barley and other grains are also used for industrial production of ethanol. Fourth useful microorganism is antibiotics that are generated from the different microorganisms which will helpful in the medical field. Carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called as antibiotics. Antibiotics are mainly acts as against bacteria. Some antibiotics can destroy protozoa. Antibiotics are mainly of two types: broad spectrum antibiotics and narrow spectrum antibiotics. Students, in the slide we are going to distinguish between broad spectrum antibiotics and narrow spectrum antibiotics. In case of broad spectrum antibiotics, first one, these antibiotics are useful against variety of bacteria, while in narrow spectrum antibiotics, these antibiotics are useful against specific bacteria. In broad spectrum antibiotics, when pathogens cannot be identified, even though the symptoms of disease are visible, broad spectrum antibiotics are used. But when the pathogens are clearly seen with symptoms of disease, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. Broad spectrum antibiotics examples are ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline, etc. While in narrow spectrum examples are penicillin, gentamicin and erythromycin, etc. Fifth useful antibiotic which is generated from the penicillium fungus, which is called as the penicillin antibiotics. Penicillin is a group of antibiotics obtained from a fungus called penicillium and is used for controlling the infections caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus, Clostridia, Streptococcus, etc. Medicines containing penicillin are useful to treat certain bacterial infections of ear, nose, throat and skin, as well as the diseases like pneumonia and scarlet fever. We should take precaution while taking the antibiotics. Antibiotics should be taken only when prescribed by the doctor. Don't purchase any antibiotics from medical store without a prescription from doctor. Don't consume antibiotics on your to treat common diseases like throat infection, common cold or influenza. Even if you feel well before completing the prescribed course of antibiotics, you must continue and complete it. Don't suggest to others the antibiotics which are useful to us but not useful to others. So don't give the suggestion according to your opinion. Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary Hospital, had cultured varieties of bacteria and fungi in petri dish in laboratory. But by the accidental, he found the one of the important antibiotics, penicillin, had been discovered accidentally, and this formed the basis for attempts to find cures for incurable diseases. Shouldn't we always be grateful to Alexander Fleming for discovering the life-saving antibiotics known as the penicillin? Student, we are completing here the first part of topic 8, harmful and useful microorganisms. In the first session we have seen the useful microorganisms. Now we are stopping here, and in the next session we will discuss about the second part, harmful microorganisms. Okay, thank you.